This story has been going viral. It's been on social media. I've been seeing it. I haven't watched the footage. I didn't want to hear the sounds. I didn't want to really actually hear in my ear the story. So I read tidbits, and I was talking to David about it yesterday night. A cop is fired after shooting a 61-year-old, shooting dead a 61-year-old in a wheelchair. The suspected shoplifter is in a motorized chair. He had a knife and was shot 9 times. This is a trigger warning. Okay,
I have taken the audio. I've taken some of the audio out, so it's not as much as it was.
Okay, let's take a look.
Got his knife in his other hand. Okay. You're not going to the store, sir.
Stop now. You need.
Bravo 8, shots fired.
I'm gonna get my back.
Jesus Christ, the silence is killing me too. I just don't.
Yeah, the silence is kind of. It doesn't help no matter what, but yeah.
We have one gunshot victim. Officers are code 4.
Bravo 15 is code 4 for meds to move in at this point.
I forgot about this part.
Bravo 15. I'll need units here. Code 3. We got a lot of people here.
10-4, stand by just 1. Is it okay for meds to move in? Is the scene secure?
Yeah, scene's code 4. Meds can move in.
So an Arizona officer was fired after he allegedly fatally shot a shoplifting suspect in a wheelchair. As we saw, police said at a press conference on Tuesday that Ryan Remington, a 4-year police veteran in Tucson, was fired for excessive use of force after he reportedly shot 61-year-old Richard Lee Richards 9 times, saying, quote, "I am deeply troubled by Officer Remington's actions. His use of deadly force in this incident is a clear violation of department policy and directly contradicts multiple aspects of our use of force training." And that's what the Tucson police chief said. And he went on to say, as a result, the department moved earlier today to terminate Officer Remington.
Did you get his, what? I just want to make sure. I don't know if you have it. His lawyer's quote, the cop's lawyer's quote.
No, what was that one?
So I was curious. I really wanted to, I was like, there's no defense. So what? He said that he argued that Remington had no, quote, non-lethal options when engaging. Quote, he did have a taser, but in his mind, he couldn't use it because he didn't feel he had the proper spread to deploy it with the wheelchair between him and Richards. I'll leave that to you.
So you're telling me that,
and I think it's safe to say in this instance to take allegedly and reportedly out of these statements because
yes,
it was clear.
We saw it.
It was clear.
It's clear. And then that last shot, you paused. You wanted to do that. You paused on that last shot. Pow, 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 pow. Pow.
Right, yeah, there was definitely like here's one more for good measure type of thing.
Jesus Christ. A man in a wheelchair. A man in a wheelchair, 61 years old. You assumed he had a knife. A knife. What they say, you don't bring a knife to a
gunfight.
A gunfight. Even if he had a knife, you pull out, he's in a wheelchair. You pull out a gun and shoot him 9 times. The excessive force. And when we have these conversations, and again, you pointed out something very well, Dwayne. What we saw is not allegedly. It is not reportedly. It is not as CNN reports. It's not as MSNBC reports. We literally seen this. This is actual footage. What the media likes to do is allegedly, but we saw it. So how can it be allegedly? And here is what the issue is. They want us to use that to say, we're going to do an investigation. This is where I get upset with those kind of things.
Yeah,
we see
right.
And they want us to use those kind of words to investigate. And this is where that due process situation comes in, right? We have to have due process that's going to take this length of time, but for something that we've seen, act now. And these police officers get off a lot of times. This use of this excessive, this force, and this is what they're trained to do. They think that they're in the army, and we know what people say to the people in the army. It's like you are, you're trained killers. Like this is what you do. My nephew's in there right now. That's what they're calling him right now. You're a machine that's trained to kill. These officers get training for one day. And they walk out and they believe that they are machines trained to kill, not to serve and protect. Not to serve and protect. This man in a wheelchair seemed so much as a threat to the officer that he had to shoot him 9 times. Man already dead. But he did it for, like you said, for good measure.
I mean, in this case, allegedly and investigate is basically code for while we deal with the union, and the union tries to get his way out of it.
Yep. Yep.
Because you can't get your way out of this. Because what's going to happen now is they think that since they fired him, that makes this okay, and no charges will be filed against him. Man,
gotta get charged. I mean, come on.
There's no way that this man cannot be charged. That was clearly.
Well,
he meant to do that.
I'd be shocked when these little officers and little young men don't get charged.